What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's subscribed, sent in their tattoos, and just been a part of the community in general. It's awesome to see. For those of you who are new, my name is Pony Lawson, and I've been a tattooer for about 21 years now. What we like to do here on this channel is critique tattoos from collectors and artists alike. All the tips, tricks, and critiques that I give you in this video are meant to be taken constructive and not to be taken in a negative sort of light. That doesn't mean I'm not going to say anything negative about these. I'm going to be as honest as possible, but we're just here to have fun with these, and that's all that is. And these are all submissions sent in by you. So if I'm a little too harsh, you're kind of asking for it. Again, this is just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. So you guys ready? Let's get into it. So the first one sent in is by Britni Lucas. And Brit, you sent in this rose on this forearm. Not a bad tattoo by any means. There are a few things that I would do differently overall. The first one being, I don't think this is a very attractive rose, but I think that had to do with the reference. The petals on the outside of the rose just kind of seem wilted and not very strong. Personally, I like to see roses when they're very full and they have a very strong shape. It just seems like these petals are kind of sad that are hanging off the bottom and the outside. The group of leaves at the top left kind of all seem the same. There's not really any heavy shadows or anything like that up there to help distinctively show one leaf sitting on top of the other. There are some heavy line weights which help out a lot. I would have liked to, however, seen some sort of shadows underneath those leaves. And this goes for the leaves throughout the entire tattoo. The leaves that are in front, below the rose, same thing. If you were to just throw some shadows underneath the one leaf on the right to show that that leaf is sitting on top, I think you'd just show some real depth in there. The same thing could be said for the petals up top too, where all these petals are curving over and sitting on top of one another. The lines do help to an extent, but I would have liked to see a little bit heavier shadows, at least one or two to help give it some sort of dramatic lighting. There's usually a very heavy black shadow on the bulb of the base of the rose, where all the petals are kind of coming together. Not a lot of light gets to it, so it would have been nice to see some solid black there. Also, reiterating what I said about the shadows, for instance, the petal that's folded over that goes right through the center of the rose, I would have liked to seen a shadow underneath there as well. Little things like that will show a lot of depth while also keeping it in your style. I do like the heavy use of black that you have, and the little sprouts that are coming off the leaves and how those are solid black. I like the contrast there. I do, however, wish there was a little more contrast coming through the entire piece. I like the space that it fills up on the arm. There's no wasted space here. Another thing that kind of bothers me is the top left where you have those four leaves. The leaves should be coming from the stem, not so much the rose itself. It just looks like they're out there hanging out, and you maybe could have gotten away with one or two, but the little cluster just seems like a bit too much. Overall, solid banger. Thank you, Brit, for sending that in and let me talk about it. So this next one is sent in by Steven. Steven sent in a picture of this dog on a rib cage. A fantastic tattoo. I do like use of negative space to give essence of highlights. However, I feel like the negative space in this tattoo might have been a hair too much. The shading is very, very, very smooth, which I like. I can see the little purple line that used to be there of the edge of the ear, and I feel like that should have just been a little more strong. Maybe add a little more black or use a fatter liner to kind of shade away from that line, just so you know where the edge is. Same thing for the back of the head. Once those little shades fade away, it's going to be almost the same tone as the person's skin. So adding a little bit more shades to the back of the dog's face would have helped illuminate the dog's face as well. Where the face comes down around the muzzle, I feel like there should have been a little bit of shading there, and it would have helped made it a little more clear that that muzzle was coming out of the face. Other than that, I like the use that you have of the skin tone. Also, I would have liked to seen some striations added with a liner throughout the face. It kind of looks like you added all the texture of the fur with a mag, which isn't bad by any means, but I still feel like there is room to add more striations with a liner. Maybe have a little more strength around his left eye, a little more black. Something that just shows a definitive edge of the eyelid and the eye. You need to use more liners and just having more confidence in building your edges. You know, like the back of the dog's face, the ear, the eye, and even the nose. The nose could actually have a little bit more detail and, you know, dots and things like that, and give it some texture. You know, we all know what dogs' nose look and feel like up close. Even if it's not in the reference, we know that dogs have a very textured nose. So maybe add a little bit of that in there. It looks like you added a couple little dots toward the bottom of the nose. Just kind of bring that up throughout the entire thing. Give it a nice contrast from the rest of the dog's face. Also, the whiskers. I know the whiskers might not have actually been in the reference. You do have the holes for the whiskers. It probably would have been nice to see, you know, one or two little faint lines to just show that there was some sort of hair there. It would have definitely made it feel a bit more realistic. But again, I think that's just using a liner overall. The nose, the whiskers, the eyes, the textures, all those things would have helped to take this tattoo to the next level. I can tell you know how to do it by looking at these little fur pieces at the very bottom. These tiny little black juts that you have have that are going inside the face. You can tell that it's very furry down towards the bottom of the muzzle. I would have liked to see a few more of those details throughout the entire piece. So overall, my takeaways would be just to add a liner in there, maybe a 9 liner, even a 5 or 3 for the smaller textures, but a 9 liner would help you kind of sculpt out the nose a bit more, add some more definition to the eye, add some more definition to his back ear, and things like that. Again, they don't have to be lines, but you can use a liner as a shader to do just that. But very smooth shading. I can tell you know what you're doing when it comes down to shading. I just think you need to add a couple liners to your arsenal. So thanks for the submission, Steve. The next tattoo is sent in from Carey Jr. John sent in this picture of what I believe is a Pokemon. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's Eevee. I like that you have a good line weight. I don't get to see nice heavy line weight a lot in these videos. I'm glad you threw some in there. However, I wish that you would have thrown that same line weight on this front ear here. The back tail shouldn't be as thick as that front ear. The ear is sitting in front of the tail. It needs to have a thick line as well. Maybe even add a thick line around part of that head. It's sitting in front. I love your line weight. I just don't think it's necessarily in the right parts, or you could add more. I think the back tail should have been a little bit thinner, and I think the ears and the face should have been a bit thicker. I do think you need to work on controlling your lines a little bit more. I can tell if I really zoom into this cherry blossom here. These are mistakes that I used to make in the past when I would be tattooing cherry blossoms. Some sides of the cherry blossoms would have thicker lines, whereas the tips would end up a little bit thinner unpurposefully. And it seems like that's what's kind of going on here, because the sides of some of these blossoms are thicker and the sides of some of these blossoms are thinner. So that's just really learning control. I don't mind the colors in them. However, I wish they had a little bit more dynamic tone to them. You know, maybe a little bit more hot pink to a pastel pink. This pink is just kind of bland across the whole flower. It's not bad, but again, I would have liked to seen something with a little bit more pop. You have this brown Pokemon here. That's your chance to show some pop color, is the pink. So really make that pop. The white highlights in the flowers aren't really doing you any favors. Just get rid of them. If I look at this petal that's sitting in front of Eevee, you've got this highlight that just sits up next to the Pokemon. It just gets lost. If you're gonna use white in these tattoos, put white in the whole thing. You know, make sure that the petal stands in front of the Pokemon. Otherwise, like I said, just don't put it in there at all. The gray lines that come in front of this tattoo aren't bad. I like how you attempted to give it movement. However, I just don't think, again, that's necessary either. It just comes off a little weak. I would have liked to seen you take the time and make this flower a lot better than add the smoke in there. I think that would have, made this tattoo better overall. I know you're not gonna be doing a whole lot of cherry blossoms in the future. However, working on something like this, getting the design dialed in exactly how you want it before you tattoo it is going to take your tattooing further. Not just with cherry blossoms, but everything in general. I think that you could have started with a better design for this cherry blossom. Maybe drawn 10 or 15 of them first before you decided to place this one on top of Eevee. It just seems to kind of fall flat. I feel like it would look a bit nicer, a bit more realistic if you were to add a bunch of tiny little lines in there instead of these longer, fewer lines. So thank you, Carey, for sending that in and let me break it down. Next one up is from Brian Chun. Brian sent in 2 tattoos that I'm going to talk about. The first one that he sent in is this snail with a skull shell. It's super dope right off the bat. I love this tattoo. I love the skull on the back of this slug. It really makes it feel like it's a shell with all these little white highlights that you have running through it. And all the colors and textures that you have running through the slug or the snail in general are awesome. The green lines that you have running through the body that are morphing into this yellowy green shape, and then same for the other way, the little blue on the top of it with the purple in the middle. All these colors hit so well together. It really almost gives it like an iridescent feel. I love it. I love the colors, I love the line weight, I love the skull and the texture in the skull. Everything about that tattoo is good. You also sent in this goldfish that I'm gonna give you some praise on because I love this thing too. The coloring on this goldfish is solid. I love the oranges and the yellows and the little bit of whites that you popped in through there. I like the line weight that you have throughout this fish as well. I like the thickness that you have on the outside, and I like the thin lines that you brought in through the fins and the scales. I do like the white highlights that you brought into the bottom of the fin. Not the biggest fan of how you tried to imitate that on the top as well, but it works. Very cute. There's not a lot I can nitpick about these tattoos. They're really cool. Keep up the good work, Brian. So the next one sent in is from Marc Jerome Hernandez. Marc, you sent in this wolf and rose tattoo that could use some work. It could use a lot of work. The wolf kind of looks like this. I'm only seeing 2 pieces of your work here. You sent in a tiny, tiny, tiny little set of praying hands and then this gargantuan wolf rose tattoo with a little bit of background. I'm gonna say that you're kind of biting off more than you can chew. Let's start with the rose. I think before doing this entire tattoo, you should have focused in on only the rose and making that rose look as badass as you possibly can before moving on to the wolf. Or is that roadkill? I'm just kidding. This is just my opinion. I feel like maybe you're kind of rushing through this entire thing because it's in the back of your brain that you have to get this entire thing complete when you don't have to. This rose itself just looks very flat and black. There's a whole lot of random shading. There's not a lot of definitive edges. It's not appealing. Neither is the wolf. I gotta try not to be too mean, but goddamn, you're making it hard on me. Everything, this entire tattoo just kind of falls flat from the rose to the wolf all the way up to the background. Yeah, I'd like to see the sound this wolf makes. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, this whole thing's rough. All right, Marc, I'm gonna suggest, in all honesty, draw on paper first. You can sketch the shape of an arm or a leg and then draw this from start to finish on that piece of paper first before you put it on somebody's body. I know it's time consuming, but that's okay. Get that mastered first because there are a lot of amateur mistakes here and a lot of it's the fur. If you can control fur with a pencil or big pen on paper, you should be able to do at least somewhat similar on a tattoo, and I'm just not seeing that here. It seems like there's like a bit of a moon off in the top left of here where you tried to put some shading around, but then that shading just very quickly lightened up behind the trees. So it kind of looks like there's a night sky over here and then like a little bit lighter sky on top of the trees, and I think you probably did that so you wouldn't hide the trees in the back as well because the trees are very black, or power lines, whatever they are. The shading at the top above the trees just ends so abruptly. You know, you could have had a soft shade, you could have given it shape with some clouds, or so many things you could have done there, but it kind of just looks like this entire tattoo is rushed through from start to end. To reiterate, I would have just maybe focused on the rose first. Take the entire amount of time that you spent on this entire tattoo and put it into just the rose itself, and hopefully that rose would end up looking a whole lot better than it does now, because right now it just falls flat. It's too much black, there's not a lot of definition. It's just not a good tattoo. And the eyes. The eyes aren't bad. I know a lot of people ask for like colored eyes, blue eyes within a black and white tattoo, which I've never really been a fan of to begin with, but it looks like these are two different eyes as well. You have this black line running through one side of the eye and it's not there on the other side of the eye. And again, I'm sure this probably just has to do with a bad reference, but maybe find a better reference. Key takeaways: slow down, make sure every stroke has a purpose. Right now there are a lot of haphazard strokes in here that just look like they're there just to be there. You know, all around the muzzle, all around the entire left side of the face, it just looks like you put them there to fill in the space. Don't do that. Look at the reference and make sure that you are mimicking what you see on the reference. Move your hand as slow as it takes for you to get the shade that you want to see in your tattoo. Just slow down. Marc, I appreciate you sending this in and let me break it down. I want to see some work from yours in the future. I want to see some progress. The next one sent in is from Daniel. Bro, what is going on here? Daniel sent in a tattoo of what looks to be like some very close friends pre-COVID. Well, so it kind of looks like it's made to be some sort of like Renaissance painting or something like that. If that is the case, it's not really reading very clear. Structurally, there's not a lot of anatomically correct shades going on here. It's interesting. Let's talk about the hands and the feet. The hands and the feet are my least favorite parts about this tattoo. The hand that's cupping the breast on the right hand side, the fingers just kind of fall apart. They're not very strong. The feet on the same person, I don't know what that little circle is on the bottom of his foot. The digits on all these characters just aren't very well done. Some are sharp, some are soft, some are pointy, some are not. It's just an odd tattoo overall. She seems to have an elastic arm that's kind of reaching around the entire body that she's grabbing. There's just a lot of non-believable things happening in this tattoo. Another section I want to point out where the red robe is going over and meeting the arm of the guy in front. The line of the arm meets the robe, and it's a design flaw. That line for the robe should have been tucked underneath the arm, or it should have gone below the arm, but it's just running into that arm, making it seem like one continuous line. I would maybe watch a few videos on structure of anatomy and light and shadows. Two things that would really help progress this tattoo along, because although it's not that big of a tattoo, there are small things in here that could have been prevented and you could have done differently to help make this be more believable. The lines throughout this kind of just seem haphazard. The main figure in the middle, the chin line, it just seems very out of place. A lot of these lines that run through the entire tattoo just kind of seem out of place. If you were to make the entire rectangle solid black and then put these human forms on top of them, I feel like you would have given the illusion of these bodies being lit up and not have to rely on the shades that you put throughout the body. A lot of the problems of this tattoo kind of stem from the design before you even got onto the skin. That's why maybe it might be beneficial to get some sort of study up and ready before you put this on skin, because there are a lot of things that kind of just seemed like you put into place as you were going that could have been prevented had you had a solid reference to go by. Thank you, Daniel, for sending that in. Per usual, I'm going to give you this week's favorite tattoo as well as my least favorite tattoo, or as we like to call it,
tattoo.
So my favorite tattoo from this week is from Brian Chun. Brian Chun is the one who sent in the snail and skull tattoo that I absolutely love. There's nothing bad I can say about this tattoo whatsoever, and that's why I think it's this week's winner. I love the colors, the textures, the colors of the line that you brought throughout this entire thing. Everything just works well together. And like I said, there's nothing I would change about this, so excellent job, Brian. And this week's toilet tattoo is brought to you by Marc and his wolf tattoo. For many reasons. Whoa! Marc, I think you just need to work on the fundamentals of tattooing and composition in general. Again, to reiterate, maybe just draw something like this on paper first and take as much time as you need to do it right. Don't think that you have to rush through these because it isn't a race. You're not racing against anybody but yourself. So congrats, Marc. So thanks again, everybody, for sending in your work. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you'd like to see your work on a future episode, you can send it to ponycritiques@gmail.com. Don't be discouraged if you don't see your work on an episode right away. We have tons of submissions that we need to get through, and I'm trying to get through all of them. So be patient, and hopefully we'll see yours on a future episode. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.